I'm Matt.
I'm Zach, and this is the Anatomy of.
On this podcast, we listen to prog metal and rock songs
Usually.
and break it down.
All right, let's get into it.
This week, we're going to be listening to some Animals as Leaders. I brought you guys two songs this week. The first one is off of their self-titled album. The song I brought you is On Impulse. Fantastic song. And then we're going to go all the way to recent with their most recent album, The Madness of Many. And The Brain Dance is the song off of that album that we're going to listen to. So we should be able to see a little bit of a difference between their debut effort and their most recent one.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Do you remember listening to the Animals as Leaders debut when it came out?
Yeah. My friend Dave showed me Animals as Leaders. And initially, it was like brand new. Like I was into like Russian circles and some post-rock stuff, but the instrumental metal stuff, I didn't really discover till like 2011, 2012-ish when I met my friend Dave. So he showed me a lot of stuff, and it was really cool. At first, it wasn't my favorite. The more I listened to it, though, I dug it. I initially described it as like really, 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 really good elevator music.
Oh, wow. Wow.
But I've since come around on it because it started to click, and as my tastes changed as well.
So I had a completely different initial reaction, especially to that debut album. Like I was floored. I grew up, and you guys will hear this moving forward, but I grew up on a lot of prog music that my dad had exposed me to, like King Crimson and Genesis and Pink Floyd. And when I heard this first song, I was just like, or this first album, I was like, holy shit, this stuff is amazing. I haven't heard anything like this in the longest time. He was just taking so many risks with the music and letting it be metal, but letting it not be metal all at the same time.
Yeah.
Like it was, and the
Tosin's pretty good at guitar.
Yeah, it's well, like he sings with his guitar. Like at no point listening to any of these songs do I ever feel like vocals should be something that they even think about when they play,
right?
Because just the way that he blends his playing in with the synth elements and the chugginess of the heavier guitar and the drums, like it's as music as complete as I hear.
So. Yeah, it's cool because like he playing on 8 strings, you know, they can kind of like, I don't know if they fully play bass lines, but they can like play bass elements as they're playing lead parts at the same time. And it's, if you ever, after you listen to this podcast, you should go to YouTube and look up Wave of Babies and just watch Tosin play guitar.
Well, I was gonna say, preparing for the podcast today, I watched them play both of these songs live on Impulse and Brain Dance, and I'll talk about this a little bit later. But the debut album, Tosin Abasi, who's the lead guitar player, if you guys don't know, for Animals as Leaders, recorded all the bass, all the guitar, and then they added drum effects and synth after the fact. And when you listen, just be amazed at how incredible of a musician is and how he's playing all of this. But live, you can watch the other guitar player play an 8-string, but play bass lines on the 8-string. Like they slap an 8-string guitar like they're playing a bass. And
they're a trio. They play as a trio live.
Yeah.
So picture 3 people playing this as you start it up.
Try not to have your brain explode. We're going to start the song. All right. So this is On Impulse from Animals as Leaders' first album. It's a self-titled album. So I'm going to pause right there. So up until the last couple seconds, that's all Tosin. Like he's string jumping like a crazy person. And the only point where you would need the third person in that three-piece, the other guitar player, would be the last couple seconds where you hear like the dun 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 dun. But
yeah, and you can hear it's kind of like classical style in the intro with like a hint of like just like a little splash on top of like maybe some like Spanish guitar. I think Tosin's dad was like a jazz musician too, like a famous jazz musician.
I had never heard that before.
But I don't remember his name, so not that famous, I guess.
I wouldn't be surprised to hear that with just the natural talent, along with, I don't think he's had incredible training. I think I read that like he went to music school in Atlanta or something. But for someone that's like changed how people play the guitar and has his own model and way that the neck looks, you would expect that he went to like, I don't know.
He's got some sexy fan fret.
Oh my God.
8 strings.
Oh my God.
That's great. All right, let's get back into it.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to mention this a few times in this song, but one of the reasons why this is my favorite Animals as Leader song is because it starts almost like a Spanish sonata. You hear like acoustic guitar, and then the layering starts to happen. So first you start to hear just like a few bass notes, and then they become a little bit more prominent. And then right in this part of the song, you almost feel the pace starting to quicken. And obviously I've heard this song like a million times, but I'm just waiting for the other instruments and the synth to kick in. And it's just, this song does a great job of building suspense to the point where you started with a really calm song. And by the end of this, you won't remember what this song sounded like, or at least a little bit you will. What do you think, Zach?
I agree.
He has so much to add. All right, we're going to go back into it. Try to listen to that synth coming in very soon. So now we've got,
I just love all the jazziness. I just love it.
It's so fantastic. It just makes you feel good. So like now we've got the same harmonies, the same guitar line basically, but now structured on top of it, there's the other two instruments along with some synth in the background. And it just sounds so much more rich. I can't talk right now, but it's not something you necessarily like needed at the start of the song. It built to that.
Mm-hmm.
So good. So good.
It's like making a cake.
I would agree that is an apt analogy, would be making a cake. So before they just got into this part of the song, the dun, 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 when I hear songs that are just extremely chuggy, which might be the reason why I like rock and metal so much, as a bass player, I like when I hear a part of the song where I'm like, oh yeah, I could definitely play that. And Animals has sections where it's almost like they want to purposely take you down on a song a little bit to be like, oh, this is calm. We're playing something that you could totally do on your own. And then it switches. Like last week, we talked about switching a song structure on a dime with Between the Buried and Me. I feel like they do that a lot in this song as well.
Yeah, they're pretty talented. Seeing them live, I saw them maybe like 7 years ago. Man, already, that's crazy. I saw them live on my birthday. It was dope in Syracuse, and they watching them live was just blew me away all the time. It just the way that they're so tight, and the rhythm changes, everything about it is just awesome.
Where did you see them in Syracuse?
I don't know.
Fair enough.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Was it like
I don't remember.
Was it a club? Was it?
It was like a club, maybe the size of like the Montage.
Okay.
I don't remember because I don't go to shows out there that often.
Okay.
Was Paradise in the name? Is Paradise Lost a thing, or is that a club in Buffalo? I don't remember.
I do not know. I've never seen a show at that place in Syracuse, but that would make sense just to like visualize the size of space.
It was them and Intronaut. Intronaut opened for them, and that was the first time I saw them. And I'll talk about Intronaut when we cover Cloud Kicker one week. But
okay, all right,
let's get back into it.
Yeah, this was the heavy part of this song. This is when it starts to get good. This might seem like a tangent, but I love this song on like a summer day with the windows down. This is like a great, fantastic summer day song. Like especially when they hit the chuggy parts, you can just like bob your head, and then when they get to these parts, you're just like, oh man, I like the sky.
Yeah, it's like like a movie where you're like in the passenger seat with like your foot sticking out the window and just like digging the sunshine on like a road trip across the great US of A.
And honestly, maybe I've never even gone this far into the song. Obviously, that's the whole point of this podcast, is to go do like deep dives into the songs. On impulse, I'm almost thinking like you impulsively jump into the car, or you impulsively go on a trip with a friend, or you impulsively do something else. And this song almost speaks to like the joy in something like that and the freedom.
Yeah. You're having a fun, whimsical time.
Yeah.
And this is the soundtrack for it.
Without a doubt. I like that a lot. All right. Back to some songage. I don't want to cut off Tosin playing a solo, but for those of you listening, you need to just like sit with your mouth open, drool a little bit, and appreciate what's about to happen for the next probably 30 seconds or so, because this is just unreal. And it's not even how fast this guy plays, it's the tone. Like I'm all about tone with a guitar player. They need to somehow simultaneously linger on a note enough where it sounds great, but then also be able to switch it up enough to be, I don't know, intriguing enough to the listener that they're switching notes. But he melds the both of those completely.
No, I get what you're saying, because like I feel like Kerry King in Slayer is like bad at that. Like he writes good songs, but he sucks as a soloist, in my opinion, because he just kind of slams a bunch of notes. Tosin has like a little finesse to it.
Yeah, there's not one that sounds bad. And honestly, he can make this and a live show, from what I've seen on the internet, because I can't believe I haven't seen these guys live before, sound almost the same. Like it is unreal how much he can reproduce it, and it speaks to his talent. But Just appreciate what's about to happen right now.
Just the way he comes out of the solo and just it just filters right back in.
Yeah. And that the harmony that we've been hearing this entire song, it almost feels like it takes on different meanings as you go throughout the song. So at the beginning it was like, this is whimsical and this is fun and this is light and this is airy. And then it started to get a little dark when you added the bass to it. And now this point coming out of the solo, as you add the drums, it's not dark. It's just like, I don't know, you're in full on just having fun mode, it seems like. And I don't know how the same harmony did.
You reached the destination of your road trip.
Oh my God, that's fantastic. Yeah.
And now you're starting to have fun at the destination.
Now you have the hot dog in your hand. Now you have the beer. Now there's the fire by the water.
Right.
Yeah.
You just got to the beach party.
I'm honestly visualizing it right now. Like that song hits all those parts.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
That's really sweet.
That's what I'm saying.
All right. More fantasticness. All right, so that last part, if we're trying to draw meaning out of these instrumental songs, which I'm actually having a lot of fun trying to do right now, they riffed on that dark instrumental for a little bit, and the lower parts of the 8-string came in quite a bit, and it just repeated and repeated and repeated. My interpretation would be you're at the beach, you're having fun, but your brain is starting to linger to like your responsibilities or the other places that you could be right then. What do you think about that?
I didn't pick up on that. I see it more as just I don't know. I didn't think of it that way. I'll have to
do you want to go back?
Take that into consideration. Yeah, go back.
All right, I'll go back like 30 seconds or so and you can listen.
Yeah, that'll work.
So did you hear what I was talking about? That repeat?
Yeah, I can see that. Like you're starting to think about like, oh, I got to work tomorrow. Maybe I shouldn't have done this, but like you're probably going to end up throwing all caution to the wind anyway. But those thoughts are creeping and back in.
Yeah, it's not something I'm sold on. It came to me because they purposely repeat it.
Yeah, no, I can see it. I never thought of it that way. It's a cool insight.
Well, thank you, bud. I appreciate that.
All right, calm down.
More song. Okay, so no doubt I'm sticking to my interpretation of this song. So before it was, I have work, I have these other things, I shouldn't have done this impulsive thing. And then the last 30 seconds was, you know what, but I'm still having fun. I still have my friends. I still have my beer. It was almost like a dichotomy, like a fight in your own brain. and then it kicks, and it's like, yes, I'm gonna do it. Like right when we start to put this again.
And it's time for the second hot dog.
Yes, second hot dog time. One of the greater times in
It is
in
great.
human life.
Second hot dog first bite is a great time.
Is it better than first hot dog first bite?
It's its own special memory.
I can take that. Especially if you put something different on the second hot dog. Like if you went mustard and onion with the first, but you decided to be crazy and put ketchup on the second.
Oh, see, I'm a ketchup only person. I'm a ketchup only person with the hot dogs.
Zach, there are people that would say that you are blasphemous for even.
Oh, I know, but they can just go
touch a hot dog.
That's so stupid. You can eat mustard. I don't give a shit what you put on it. I'm just putting ketchup on mine.
I'm not gonna lie. For most of my upbringing, I added ketchup, and I've like purposely tried to reduce the ketchup because I love mustard so much. And
I hate mustard. I think if mustard just disappeared and never just disappeared from everybody's memory and off the face of the earth, the mustard plant that produces a mustard seed or whatever the hell mustard comes from, if it could just die in a fire, except for fancy honey mustard with pretzels, that one's allowed.
Fancy honey mustard? Where do you get your fancy honey mustard?
Like at a bar, you get pretzels. Anyway, we're way off topic.
No, but I was liking this little adventure into mustard. I thought
I'm just missing bars now because of COVID. So.
Oh my God! So mustard's brought you back to a bar? Oh no.
Well, I was thinking of pretzels at Swiftwater.
Oh, okay. All right. No, those pretzels aren't good. I'm actually drinking a Swiftwater IPA right now. Not to get you further missing bars, but Swiftwater, a lovely local Rochester establishment. So I'm going to continue playing this song. And as the song tails off, just another thing to add about this album, and more specifically about the album and not as much about the song, but I learned about this album like after I had already heard it. And I remember when I listened to it the first time, I was really drawn to the rhythm section and the drums. And I just thought they were absolutely unbelievable. And I remember going to like the Wikipedia page for Animals as Leaders and finding out that like literally every drum track on this album was just like pre-programmed, and I was so disappointed because I was like, God damn it, the computer can do such a good job. Now I've found out that the drummer that they ended up having in their band in the more recent stuff is just like absolutely amazing and just as good. And in this song, the drums aren't as big of a deal, but you'll hear it every now and then in the song. He's really good at, or the computer was in this case, really good at just like the offbeat little hi-hat hit.
Well, he still wrote the pattern, so
yeah, like I don't know. Everything was so well done on this. I'm going to go back to the song.
All right, great.
So what'd you think? When was the last time you heard this before listening to it tonight?
Probably, I haven't listened to that album. I didn't like their newer stuff that much, but I had limited experience with it, so I haven't listened to Animals as Leaders in a while, but probably like 2015 or so. But I'm excited to hear the Brain Dance because I think it was their second album, Weightless, that I liked it, but I wasn't like as keen on it as the debut.
I'm totally with you. I thought Weightless relied too much on the synth elements. I thought Tosin went a little bit like pie in the sky for that album. And I thought it had really cool spots, but the songs weren't as complete on that second album.
Yeah. So I'm excited to hear the Brain Dance because I don't think I've ever heard it before.
Oh, cool. And this will be the first time?
Yeah.
Well, that is fantastic. So I guess we'll get right into it. Let's start listening to The Brain Dance by Animals as Leaders from the album The Madness of Many.
I love this.
15 seconds in?
We're 16 seconds in. I love that intro a little bit.
So hold on, before you click play again, before, do you notice? So like I didn't purposely try to pick two songs with similar song structures, let's say, but do you notice how?
But it reminds me of On Impulse.
Right. Like they both have that very acoustic sound. Well, this is straight up acoustic guitar. And if you see him play it live, he plays it on an acoustic, but they both have that kind of opening. This one's not going to build as much as On Impulse. It's going to take you on a little bit of a journey through like some valleys. Cool. But
I like journeys.
Let's go on that journey together.
I love that. It's like is it an 8-string acoustic?
So the thing about this song, he plays this on a regular 6-string acoustic guitar, and then the other guitarist, who I'm having trouble remembering his name now, when they play this, he plays an 8-string. So the chuggy elements and the bass, if you ever hear like the slappy sections, those will be played by him.
Okay.
So Tosin's,
and then I'd like the drums to come in like a little splash, like you're taking a little dip in the pool. Just like
yes. Tosin's all about the melody in this. So anything that's on that acoustic, Tosin's playing.
All right. Now that I stopped it twice to marvel at Tosin in 36 seconds, I'll hit play.
I mean, how much have we gushed over this man in the last like 20 minutes of this podcast? It's just absurd.
Right. All right. Let's get back into it. I have a very big grin on my face. It's so groovy. It's so groovy. I like it.
And hold on, before you could play, like I love that he keeps going back to that like I don't know what you would call it in like classical songwriting, but there's a riff that they keep responding to. It's the da 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 da. And they can add complexity and they can do little things in the middle to change it up, but they're always going back to that little call on the acoustic guitar. And it's just like, oh, that's that song. That's that sound I heard before. It's so familiar and friendly. I love it so much. So as someone that plays bass, the lushness of the low sounds in that little section was just like unbelievable. I can imagine playing that almost on a stand-up. I gotta believe they played it on the same instruments that they play it live, which could be different, but it literally sounds like he's playing on a stand-up bass for some parts of that. They have the acoustic going, and he has his 8-string.
I mean, they might do that in the studio and then just like have effects pedals and different stuff and backing tracks live, since there's only 3 of them. But yeah, I mean, that's really rich, and this sound, the production on this is like really good. Like the you can hear the rawness of the string plucks almost, instead of just like,
that's what I was saying.
Sound.
That's what made me feel like it was a stand-up. I almost could hear the reverb of the string off of the neck of the bass, like it was that detailed. You can go back to the song now, Zach.
All right. I love this.
They're going into gent time now, or degent time.
Yeah, I just the way this is way different than what I was expecting it to be. This is awesome. I'm having a great time on this journey.
I'm glad.
That was cool. It seemed like the drummer was playing the same little fills, but then the rhythm of the guitar changed like 3 times with the same beat, which is really, really cool.
No, it's sweet. And I read about this song and this album. This is the first one where basically Tosin, I'm not going to say took a back seat, where this is the first album that they've done that was more of a 3-piece contribution to record the album in terms of ideas. Whereas before it was Tosin wrote the songs, Tosin wrote the structures, and the drummer might put a fill in here or there, but like everything was already done.
Tosin Abasi and the Animals as leaders is what the band used to be.
Yeah. Whereas in this album, he trusts his other 2 members, because they're both, all of them are incredibly talented. But he was saying how the drummer would bring them a fill, and they would fill a song structure on top of that. And he said it was more the 3 of them structuring this album more so than the others. And you can hear that because now it's all rhythm guitar and chugging. I don't know. It feels like it's more even, these songs.
Yeah, it seems more complete. Like I can kind of hear, because I listened to a couple of different bands, like what they did on the first one, where Tosin kind of just did it and like made it on the computer and probably recorded it all himself before he even had a band, potentially.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. So
right. So like this sounds like a band wrote it, whereas the first album maybe sounds more like a solo project that he developed into something else, which isn't even bad. It's just different in style. You can kind of hear it in the untangibles of the song.
Without a doubt. Yeah, I agree completely.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to get back into it.
But even with everything that we were just saying is different between this most recent album and the debut, you're still starting to see the theme that I tried to lay out in that first song. You're still seeing the cake being baked, as you said.
Yeah, yeah, and it's still definitively AAL.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Yeah. And they had the acoustic is being laid into now that rhythm part, and they're exchanging parts ever so intricately, where they're grabbing from different parts of the song. Now we're only 3 minutes into the song, but they can recall back to like when they were a minute and 30 in, or a minute in, this was the rhythm I was playing, and now we're going to combine them in a different way. I like it a lot.
Yeah. It's like you arrived somewhere and they're like welcoming you.
Oh no, that's cool. I was honestly just gonna stop it and try to ask you what you were thinking of the meaning behind this song, because I thought we did a great job with the last song. So you think you've gotten somewhere, and there's people saying it's
So
so
this
nice.
one I don't have as much of a theme throughout. Like it didn't give me brain pictures. Whoa. Brain pictures like the last one did, but this specific part is reminding me or making me visualize arriving somewhere and like being greeted by like a host, and they're like showing you to your room and showing you the village and just like what's going on around here, and here's where we have our hot springs, and this is over here where we have the, you know what I mean, just like
Yeah,
a welcoming, very welcoming feel to it.
my interpretation is, I'm gonna try to stay with the title here. I go on a little bit of a brain dance when I listen to this song.
All right.
My memories kind of flutter. I feel like the way that the guitar hits you at the beginning of the song, it instantly puts you into reminiscing mode. So I think of like old family gatherings, and I think of like memories from childhood.
Yeah, I can see that.
I bounce because of the way that the song bounces every like 30 to 45 seconds, where they're adding a new instrument or they're adding a new rhythm, and you might jump to a new memory, and you jump to a new memory. And I'm totally with you with the last little part. It's almost like, all right, so I thought of my aunt, and I thought of my brother, and I thought of my dad, and I thought of my mom. And then at this point they're like, come along. Like we're gonna invite you into this memory now. Like you went for this little brain dance, and we're gonna
Yeah, and it could even be like fond memories too. They're welcoming you in and also reminding you of fond memories you might have had together.
And the fact that a fucking guitar and drums could do that to someone's brain right now is just like blowing my mind. Like, that's nuts. That's absolutely absurd.
We had similar feelings from the same song, even though we described it a little differently.
Right. Right.
It's pretty cool.
All right, let's hear some more of this. I don't want to let it get too deep into this, but I actually played this song for Bree earlier. And when this part hit, I was just like, this part of this goddamn song just hits me straight in the feels, for lack of sounding like too much like a millennial. But I don't know what it is. It's the wail of the guitar in the background along with the acoustic. It's just like, I don't know. It sounds incredibly pretty.
Yeah. Go back like 5 seconds so I can hear the transition.
Oh, it's so good. Okay, here we go.
Now we're cruising.
Yeah, I'm just straight up sitting here with a smile stretched from ear to ear.
Yeah.
This is just absurd how song this good is, or how good this song is. How song this good is. I've never listened to it as in depth like this. Like it's always been in a car. Like I'm hearing things that I've never heard before in this song, and it's making me just appreciate it even more.
That's what's great about this project we're doing.
Oh my God, it's unreal. Unreal.
Yeah, that part was great. It's like they kept like you had the fondness, and then they like you went through memories and the welcoming, and then you just like started they took you to a room, and then all of a sudden the floor dropped out and you're like going on a water slide or something.
Oh, so you're starting to experience the memories that you just got welcomed into, or you're
I don't
going
know.
back on the brain.
Maybe it's like a again, I don't get a cohesive story through this like I did the other one.
Okay.
For this one, it's just that's what I feel like right now. Is like I just like maybe like a dream, right? Like the dream doesn't really make sense. There's no real continuity.
Yeah.
You just have parts, and it just seems like the next part of the dream just started for me. And now I'm like flying down a water slide, looking at cool shit all around.
Cool shit on a water slide is pretty fun.
I don't know if it's just the acoustic guitar aspect, but like there's so much. I hear Spanish guitar. I don't listen to Spanish guitar, so I might be full of shit when I say that, but it reminds me of what I think Spanish guitar sounds like.
That's anyone that I read online about this song said the same things. They just hear Spanish guitar, but like in a completely different way that you've ever heard Spanish guitar.
Well, yeah, because it's morphed over the everything else with the additional parts of the arrangement. But yeah, this is really cool. This is a really cool song. I dig it a lot.
They said they said things like Spanish guitar playing like a love song.
Yeah.
But then morphed with everything else, it draws different meaning.
Right.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah. I can understand that. I can empathize with that. All right, it looks like there's about 50 seconds left.
Let's take it home. Let's do it.
Take it home. Let's do it. Run home, Jack, from Hook, right? All right. Toasting with another banger.
Wow, 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 wow. Like, that was just unreal.
Yeah, it's really good. It's pretty good.
I went into this thinking that
pretty good.
I went in thinking that first song was like my absolute favorite Animal song, and I don't know if it definitely was unseated, but I don't know. I think maybe I just need to sit in front of a computer with my headphones on, talking to you more when I listen to songs. But like,
yeah, man. Well, imagine when we're able to do this in person. It'll be even better
it'll be fantastic.
because we'll be vibing together without an internet delay.
The people will feel the love in the room.
People will feel the love. I'll inject my love. I don't know if that doesn't work.
Please don't inject your love in me. I want it nowhere near me. I mean, I want it near me, but not in me. Oh no. Oh no.
All right. Well, that's this week's podcast. Or I don't know how often these are going to come out, but we're just going to keep referring to the time frame as a week.
That's the podcast for now. That's what we've got. That's what you need to
join
tell
us soon for some more music and fun and good times. And enjoy Second Hot Dog.
Second hot dog, ladies and gents. Second hot dog.
Second hot dog 4E.
Adios.